Who?
I don't know, whoever that was. That was like that sounded like a little person voice.
It wasn't. It was my office manager.
Oh, it sounded like a little kid. And she has a sweet little voice.
She does.
All right, we're on YouTube live, everyone.
Hello.
So, not much is going on in CrossFit, but we wanted to jump on anyway and just say hi from the Clydesdale Fitness and Friends podcast. Today was the day that we released team workouts. But before we get into that, I want to thank our sponsors. First, RX Smart Gear, best jump rope in the business. I can't wait to see what the April color of the jump rope made of the metal that or the ceramic. So it's Cerakote because it's made of ceramic. Cerakote handles, the colors of what they're going to come up with for April. So make sure to check that out. Also, you can get your jump rope at rxsmartgear.com or grips or jump boxes or pads or whatever, and use the code Clydesdale15 at checkout to get 15% off your order. Also, Mobility Movement. We have partnered with them so that Charlie can finally get some mobility. And my dryer is done, just so you know. So we partnered with them so Charlie and I can actually get mobile. I have been doing their daily protocols, and I do their sleep one when I have time, and I love it. It has given me the ability to actually rest a barbell on my collarbone and my shoulders when I'm in the front rack position. I know.
Wow.
I know. I don't have to do the crisscross applesauce front squat anymore.
I actually have proof this morning of Charlie working on mobility.
Nice.
In my class.
Well, you can work on your mobility too, and it's a complete package. It works on stress. It works on sleep. It has snacks if you just want to do a quick little mobility session. It has long ones for if you want to get into a little bit more. And you can go to Mobility Movement, MVMNT, and my dryer is still done. You go to mobilitymvmnt.com, use the code Clydesdale20, and get 20% off your first 6-month membership.
Awesome.
Now, with that all of that out of the way, and we love our sponsors. I don't mean to discredit it all. It's actually, we use both of them, and we're very happy with it. And we're announcing a new sponsor May 1st. So we're super excited about that.
Yay.
And do we have any jump ropes to give away today?
Ooh,
well, only if Kat has the wheel.
I have the wheel.
Yeah, we have 2 more to give away.
Okay.
2 more. Where is my wheel? Okay. Are we doing that now? We're doing that now?
Yeah, let's do it.
So
Andrew Sten, hola.
Right?
What's that?
We hit 1,000 subscribers, so we did. Giving
so
away
this is for 900
2.
and 1,000.
Okay.
Andrew Sten says hello in Spanish.
Hello. Hola.
So now we're an international podcast.
We already are.
Yes, us.
Lori C.
Lori
C.
C.
I think that might be my friend Lori Carpenter. I'll have to double check that. Let's jot that down. Lori C.
Shenanigans.
Well, I have friends that subscribe to the channel.
You don't have any friends. We're your only friends.
It's just the 3 of us.
All right, let's see. Let's do this again.
Her dogs are her friends too, guys.
My dogs are my friends for sure. I have at least 3 friends.
I don't subscribe.
Andrea.
Okay.
That's free. Oh, yeah. Okay, never mind. That was for your. Got it. Okay.
Andrea. We'll have to.
No last name.
Figure that out. Nope. It's based on whatever you are in the YouTubes. So.
Oh.
We'll figure
I
it out.
know an Andrea.
Yay.
Yeah, so I will look those up in YouTube, see if I
Okay.
can make connections to something else. And Andrew was crossing his fingers, but
Oh,
to no
sorry, Andrew.
avail.
You can still get
Right.
15% off.
And
Still.
to Andrea. Let's get it to him. Close enough.
And maybe he misspelled his YouTube name.
Yeah, maybe I messed
A and
up.
W is really close.
Yeah.
We shall see. All right, so I feel like I'm in the twilight zone when it comes to CrossFit and what is going on. Like, how
I don't get it.
How could they publicly make a statement that says it's unlikely, we're pretty sure that it's not going to affect anything, this whole workout 3 stuff. But I'm dumbfounded by how they're handling this.
So let's spell it out more clearly. So for some people who aren't totally.
So the big deal is, if you don't know who Andrew Hiller is, he is the thorn in CrossFit's side. He makes videos that basically look at the submission videos, and this is just one aspect of his show, but looking at the submission videos for the open and quarterfinals and critiquing them as to whether people met the standards or not. Mm-hmm. The big deal with the shuttle run is that I know in my CrossFit career, when we do a shuttle run, you counted one time down as 1, the next time back as 2. However, in the rules for workout 3, 1 rep was down and back. So there were several, more than a couple handfuls, more than 4 handfuls that he had checked where people did half the reps on the shuttle run than was prescribed by the workout.
And their score? Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he pointed out, if you look at the 5 scores from the quarterfinal weekend, they would be like 2,000th, 1,900. Then the third one would be second. And then they would be 1,800 and 2,300. The issue is that then that clutters up the leaderboard with weird scores, and whether or not, one, I don't believe it doesn't affect the leaderboard, because analysts have shown very specific examples where people would jump from below 120 to above 120 if those scores were fixed.
Which is the cutoff line to make it to the semifinal, the next stage.
But even if it didn't make an effect on the leaderboard, for CrossFit's response to be that it doesn't make an effect, it doesn't have an effect on the leaderboard, and just leave it as is, makes me lose trust in the process getting from the open to the quarters to the semis to the games.
Yeah. I mean, and they know it's an issue. Like, they've admitted, yes, we see it. We realize we're not going to do anything about it. Move on. Let's put this behind us. And
And Andrew says the same. It doesn't matter if there is no effect. It brings in the integrity of the scoring and judging into question.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. I paid, people paid $50 for a fair competition with an accurate leaderboard. That's part of what they paid for. And they're not getting that.
No, not at all.
Shameful. Yeah.
And there's so many inconsistencies as to what they're responding to very harshly and what they're responding to very like laissez-faire. And it makes you distrust the process altogether. And I said in my rant, and not my rant, I'm sorry, I don't want to take the copyrighted rant away, in my editorial with the Rig Report, that I love this sport. It hurts me that they keep tripping over themselves, because I want this sport to be great and I want it to be something that people want to watch. But the more they look like buffoons in this process, the less you're going to attract other people into watching this sport.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like it's a joke.
And I mean, we made all these changes, you know, like to become more transparent. And while they are being transparent, like you said, though, it's still kind of lackluster response to these big kind of things that are happening. Like, and not to mention with the leaderboard and with Annika, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, I hate to. We don't know what Dave would have done, right? If Dave was still at the helm, but I have a really hard time thinking that Dave would let something like this fly. I mean, I've seen Dave in action in the middle of the CrossFit games where something goes awry and just, you know, the fumes that come out of his ears and the people that are willing to do whatever it takes to make things right for him and for the games. It feels like that sense of urgency is no longer a part of this process, because I have a hard time believing that if he was still at the helm, that he would have allowed this.
I have to admit, when Dave was first let go, I thought it was going to be a good thing to take another step up in professionalism, and I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was wrong. It has taken 3 steps back in the either they were not prepared to let him go yet, or
they didn't know.
They need him for his structure.
Yeah.
I still think there were issues
standards
there. I think there were issues there where they could have added some other like safeguards to the system and maybe just let him stay.
Yeah. It's a cluster for sure. Well, you want to talk about
and I want you to
workouts?
bring Dave up again, but I want to talk about the team workouts first.
Okay.
But I want to talk about Dave in a second because of something that was said on Savon's podcast that really has my mind blown.
Okay. So we didn't learn our lesson from quarterfinals and individuals, and we did not take out shuttle runs or change the standard for shuttle runs. So shuttle runs are back in the mix, and they are still 1 shuttle run equals down and back. So we'll see how, you know, people have been paying attention and can figure that out. We are still doing pistol squats, which there's been a lot of talk about, very hard on video with 1 camera angle when you have to pistol squat on one side and then another side to figure out if you're hitting depth or not. And these athletes are going so fast that it's really hard to tell if they're getting full extension at the top or not. Most of them are not, and I think that's okay. But you know, you either have to loosen the standard or hold the standard, and they're doing neither of those things. Workout number, and the question was, is this more team oriented? Kind of, not really. And we'll go through them. Workout number 1 for time is athlete 1, 30 dumbbell front squats, male number 1, 30 dumbbell front squats, female number 1, 3 handstand walks. Female number 1, 30 dumbbell front squats, male number 1, 3 handstand walks. So guy, girl, squat, handstand walk, squat, handstand walk. Okay. Not really team. It's still like you're doing individual stuff. And then they flip to male 1 and male 2. Male 2 is going to do 30 squats. Female 2 is going to do 3 handstand walks. She's going to do 3 dumbbell front squats and then 3 handstand walks. And then they go to front rack lunges with handstand walks. And then they go to pistols with handstand walks with that same sort of configuration of the guy does something, the girl does 2 things, and then the guy finishes, which is...
So it's relay style and not going at the same time.
It's definitely one person works at a time, I believe. Yeah.
And for those of you on audio, you're missing a great.
Oh no, hold on.
job.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I don't want to get this wrong. The workout begins with all 4 athletes. The first male athlete begins 30 dumbbell front squats while the first female athlete runs to the opposite side, kicks up behind the line, and begins her handstand walk. If one athlete finishes ahead of the other, they must wait on the dumbbell side of the competition floor until the second athlete completes their work. When both are finished, the female athlete completes 30 dumbbell front squats. When the male athlete runs to the opposite side, kicks up, and completes 3 lengths of a handstand walk. That already sounds very confusing in terms of who's running where and where you're standing. So they're doing work at the same time. But we go from the front squats and handstand walks to a front rack lunge with the handstand walks to pistols with a handstand walk.
Okay.
So that would be interesting. So that's workout number 1. Workout number 2, here's where synchronization comes into play. All 4 are doing 15 synchronized line facing burpees. And then one pair is doing 2 shuttle runs, up and back, up and back. And then pair 2 is doing shuttle runs, up and back, up and back. Pairs, I have no idea if pairs are male or female because it doesn't say. So maybe.
Just a quick shout out to Alex, who's joined us as well. And she says hola. Or he.
Or they.
Or they.
Literally doesn't say who the pairs are, whether they're male or female or male or mixed or the same. But anyway, so it's 15 burpees with the shuttle runs, then it's 20 burpees with the shuttle runs, 25 burpees, shuttle runs, 30 burpees with the shuttle runs, and then back down to 25, 20, and 15. So it's an ascending ladder, a descending ladder. So that's kind of synchro.
Yeah, kind of teamy.
Workout number 3. This is not shuttle runs, clean and jerks. So it's 5 and 5 clean and jerks for weight 1, 4 and 4 clean and jerks for weight 2, 3 and 3 clean and jerks for weight 3, 2 and 2 for weight 4, and 1 and 1 for weight 5. The weights on the women's side are 125, 145, 155, 165, 185. The men have 185, 205, 225, 245, 275. Again, workout begins with all 4. The first male athlete will run across the floor to the barbell and begin 5 clean and jerks. When he is completed, he will return to the starting position. Then the second male athlete will enter for his 5 reps. So it's still just
one
relay style. One
Okay.
person's going. It's just based on your thing. Teams must submit both the men's and women's portions of the workout as a single video. Of course, yes. Okay. That's workout number 3. Workout number 4, female pairs, male pairs. For the women, 40 synchro toes to bar, 40 synchro box jumps, 40 synchro alternating dumbbell snatches, 10 total rope climbs, 20 synchro alternating dumbbell snatches, 30 box jumps, 40 toes to bar. So it's a down and up. Looks like the rope climbs they can do however they want. It's a 50-pound dumbbell for the ladies and a 70-pound dumbbell for the men. It looks like the women go first, the men go second.
Well, that at least seems teamy.
That's very teamy. Yes, I like that.
Made up a word.
Teamy, yeah.
Workout number 5, relay style. 1 athlete working at a time. 27 thrusters at 1 weight, 21 chest to bar pull-ups, 15 thrusters at a second weight, 9 ring muscle ups. So
This is
reminiscent
why
of
can't go team.
22.3, right? Thrusters and the gymnastics. The women's weight is 65.95 and the men's weight is 95.135. But it looks like everyone has to do the 27, 21, 15, 9. One at a time.
Barf.
Okay. Well, at least they're not copy and pasted from the individual workouts.
Correct. They're different.
So a little bit different. We still have the same shuttle run standard. We'll see if
That means
people make
master as well.
adjustments.
Well, the good thing is the shuttle runs and the pistols are in the same workout. So at least it's just one workout that could be a complete and utter
Shit show.
mess. And that will be workout number 2. So keep your eyes open for that one. I can't wait for the leaderboard to start populating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you guys know anybody that's doing it?
Yeah, Con Porter and Annie Thorsdottir and Lauren Fisher.
Any local affiliates?
No.
Our partner on the Rig Report and Clydesdale Media, Taylor Stride.
Is she's going team?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that. Okay, so Blue City has a team.
Yep.
Wow, so she's going to be doing lots of work.
Yep.
That's fun.
So we'll try to get her on or have them break down what it was like to do the workouts on the Rig Report next week.
Yeah, that would be great.
So we have a little firsthand knowledge there.
Okay, so you wanted to say something about Dave?
So did anybody watch the Rich Froning Sevon podcast?
No.
Yes. I thought this is where you were going.
Yeah. So during the podcast, Dave called in because Dave always calls in when Rich is on the Sevon podcast. And he's only there for like a minute and a half. but he does call in. And he's actually flying to Cookeville this week. He'll be there tomorrow, and he wants to meet with Rich. But what came out of that discussion is that Dave has been spending a lot of time in Palo Alto. And for those of you who don't know, because I didn't until they talked about this, but Palo Alto is where the corporate headquarters of Apple, Facebook, Netflix, and it basically is like 80% of the population make over $1 million.
Yeah.
And Sevon's contention is that there's no business in Palo Alto that Dave Castro needs to be there for other than, and he never says it, other than maybe, are they going to make a competitor to the CrossFit Games? That's my assumption.
Where are Miranda and Julian? Are they in Palo Alto?
They're in San Diego.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But that doesn't mean that they're not involved.
Right.
Right. It just means that Dave is going to talk to investors.
Yeah. Here's what was really funny. And this is where I thought you were going. So Dave asks Rich if they could go on a ruck on Friday morning. And Rich is like, I'm kind of going to be busy with quarterfinals. Dave's like, what? What's that? Like, his quarterfinal season starts like right now. You know, they have a team and they're, you know, qualifying for the games. And I know it's not, you know, they're probably not going to, it's going to be like, no big deal, you know, to do these workouts probably. And they'll still have workouts. They'll probably be done tomorrow. But it was just really funny that he's like, yeah, I'm going to be at the gym at like 8, you know, let's go on a ruck. And Rich is like, I don't think I can.
Right. Kind of busy.
Yeah, but kind of busy. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's got a team. Like, he's committed to his team. That's funny.
He has 2 teams. He's got to worry about.
Well, yeah, for sure.
So
I just thought that was funny.
So Andrew's chiming in. I just want to make sure that.
Let's hear it.
And he says, I think they're in Seattle. And if he's talking about Apple, they are in Palo Alto. Seattle is Microsoft.
I think he's saying street parking. I think street parking is in Seattle.
But they are doing something at the ranch with street parking, which, that has been announced. Dave and street parking are working together. They are going to do an event at the ranch. I think this is bigger than that. I think that Dave is in Palo Alto getting investors for something bigger. And he's touring boxes again.
That's really cool.
And I think that's, one, it's great for CrossFit because he really pumps up these different CrossFit boxes, takes pictures on the outside of the building, inside the building, posts them on his Instagram, and it's awesome. And it wouldn't hurt to have a competitor in this space, right? Because competition is going to make everybody have to be better.
Yeah, here's my problem. My affiliate fee is due May 1st. So if he's going to do something, I need him to like hurry up because I do not want to get stuck for a whole nother year.
See, I think the biggest mistake that CrossFit is making is keeping the games and the affiliates together. They are 2 different animals. They serve 2 different masters. And I think that CrossFit as a methodology is awesome. And the affiliates are awesome. The games need to go their own way and make their own money and do their own thing and become more professional that way. My thoughts.
Who's to say he won't buy it? Maybe just buys CrossFit. And then
CrossFit or the games?
All of it.
Oh, that would be kind of awesome.
Yeah, it kind of would.
That would be pretty insane. I never even thought about that, but that makes sense.
Yeah, he posted a picture recently with him and Greg.
I don't think he could bring Greg back.
No, I don't think he would bring Greg back. I'm not talking about that, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was consulting.
Yeah.
Maybe that's one of his hints, like at the Open.
Look what's happening. Yeah.
That would be interesting. I mean, you figure, you wonder how pleased the current investors are with the state of affairs of CrossFit right now. You know, maybe they're a little disenchanted by what's going on. You know, they don't have a CEO. They have a board of directors, but they don't have a CEO. And, you know, we haven't heard anything from the board of directors since he announced he was on the board of directors, the president or whatever. And
I think investing companies and high-end CEOs are going to look at this and go, I can't do both.
yeah,
You have to go in two different directions to serve each thing. And there's always that, if you do it for one, the other one's going, yeah, but that's not what CrossFit's about. It's about the affiliates, not the games. And the games are like, but we give you exposure. And, and it's just always this battle back and forth.
And you have to train for the games at your affiliate.
yeah. The interesting thing is like, where would the existing OGs who are involved, like Chuck, who's very involved in training and very involved in the games, like which side would he take? And would it depend on who's at the helm?
I'm sure it would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Interesting. Ooh, I like it. Drama. Well, and
We got
the only thing we can do
out of Andrew.
Yeah, the only thing we can do is sit back and, wait for the Instagram post to come out. Or so stressful. So hard covering this stuff.
Well, and of all people who can keep secrets, it's Castro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we have just a few more minutes, but I wanted to ask Kat about her rules. So she's got some rules posted on her gym, and I just said I was curious about them, and then one of them is crossed off. So what's the story? Tell me about, how do the rules get made?
So we bought a new giant whiteboard for the gym, and one day in between classes, I jotted down 10 rules for the gym, and they were just very much off the cuff. Like I didn't sit down and Google things or whatever. I just kind of put them down, and I liked them, and people liked them. And rule number 3 was mind your coach. And I have one member in particular who has a hard time minding his coach, kind of like our friend Charlie, right?
Are they aware of that they have a hard time minding the coach?
Yeah, so this is where the change comes in. So a few times, almost all the time, this person chooses a weight that maybe I would not choose, right? Or maybe chooses an option for a movement that maybe I would not choose. And I would not choose for him as his coach. And so I will maybe remind this person that maybe he should be doing something else, or maybe he should go lighter. And more often than not, that person just takes the workout into their own hands and does whatever they want. And so his significant other is also a member at the gym. And so there's some ribbing and teasing going on, and it's a well-known fact that he doesn't do a very good job of minding his coach. And so we always say, like, hey, rule number 3, what's rule number 3? And he's like, yeah, it says mind your coach. You're always on my mind. You're always on my mind. I just don't do what you say. And that's when his significant other said, well, you should change it to obey your coach, because then maybe you'll do what she says. And so when we were writing up the rules on the whiteboard, somebody went over to the word mind and changed it to obey your coach. Tongue in cheek, obviously.
Yeah.
And so when we decided to get the sign guy to come and give us our official rules, we decided to write mind your coach, cross out the mind, and put obey, because we thought it was funny. So
got it.
That's how that started. So it's all because of one guy and his girlfriend and what they did. So cool.
What I want to start adding, or I should add to, if I had the rules, would be to do the warm up. I literally have a handful. Yeah. I'm not talking about you, Charlie, necessarily.
That's funny. I haven't experienced that yet, but I know what you're talking about, because I've been to other gyms.
I have a handful that all of a sudden they'll just go to the bathroom. Like, where's Kat?
I am
She's
not.
She's got to the bathroom. And won't do the warm up. So it just makes me laugh.
Sometimes you gotta poop when you gotta poop.
Nope, she just is actively avoiding.
Pre-workout kicks in.
She's hiding. Isn't she not, Charlie? She 100% is hiding. She just doesn't want to do the warm up. Then I'll be like, have to say to somebody, I'm like, yo, pick up the PVC pipe. Let's go. What are you doing, Chatty Cathy?
That is funny. That is probably that word obey, that line on my house rules is probably the most offensive thing you will ever see in my gym, just so you know. And I don't want people to be offended by it. Obviously, there's a story behind it.
Listen, that's why
but you know,
I
I've worked at gyms where there have been Sports Illustrated swimsuit calendars, you know, prominently displayed in the office, and way worse other things. So
Totally.
I think if that's my worst offense,
The national
we'll be okay.
magazine. What's wrong with that?
Right.
Well, you also have to
Great
realize, like,
harvest.
when I'm coming from my other brain, my main job,
Sure.
like, seeing that word is always like, that's a
Right.
a trigger for me. So that's why I was like, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna ask about it.
I'm
And
all for
there's a
human
story.
rights. I'm, you know,
Yeah.
I'm we're good.
So
Yeah.
since you brought up Sports Illustrated, I got a quick question, and then we'll
Okay.
end the podcast. So, you know, in response to that kind of, ESPN the magazine started doing The Body Issue, which is both men and women, people of all shapes, sizes, like offensive linemen to, you know, and then they try to artistically pose the body. Does that still offend, or are you okay with it more as a body positivity art thing?
Because it's men and women, I think I'm okay with it. I think the swimsuit calendars just have a different connotation to them. And knowing the people that hung the calendar, you know, sort of influences my judgment on why the calendar is there, if that makes sense. But I think if anyone was uncomfortable with it, regardless of whether it was tasteful or not tasteful, or, you know, because of bodies and men and women, that it shouldn't be there.
This is the kind of stuff we have at Bodies at my school.
Bodies are cool. I love it.
Well, that's
Look at
kind of
that
a
stuff.
response. The ESPN the magazine thing I find fascinating
Yeah.
because they have, you know, the overweight home run hitter in like a swing, and you can kind of see the body and how it moves in that. And he's not like ripped or six-packed or anything like that. It's just,
It's like in
it's
the
more
National
realistic to me.
Geographic. Yeah, it's the National Geographic of humans, you know, instead of animals or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they show like Serena Williams, and you're like, my God, she's like, it's just
jacked.
this chiseled thing that made her great, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, I just was interested in that after.
I just lost your sound, dude.
Oh, yeah. Did you unplug your mic?
I bumped it.
Okay.
Are you?
Oh, there you go. Now you're back.
Yeah, now we can hear you, but we didn't hear what you just said.
Yeah, it wasn't important. I just was interested in your response.
You are important, Scott.
Well,
So what's going
we're
on
at the
this
half
weekend?
hour mark.
What do we have for Monday?
So we have our friend at Mobility Movement, Crystal Derry. She will be released Monday. And she has a really interesting story. She got sick getting home from South America as COVID was breaking out. And it totally has put her down for 2 years.
Wow.
Jeez.
And it's not, and the doctors are saying it was not COVID. But there were very COVID-like symptoms.
Yeah.
And before this happened, she is licensed in like 4 billion things, including Olympic weightlifting, as well as mobility and yoga and therapy and all that kind of stuff. Her weightlifting numbers were better than mine before this happened. And now she struggles with a 45-pound bar trying to get back into it. So yes, she's our sponsor, and yes, we think she's awesome. But this story is really captivating, and it's something that I think needs to be heard because people go through this stuff all the time, and she talks about the mental struggle and how she needed to seek therapy just to kind of get through it.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
So, and she said, I have a very broadcasty voice.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Got it.
With that, make sure you go to rxsmartgear.com. Use the code Clydesdale15 to get 15% off your order. Go to Mobility Movement, mobilitymvmnt.com, and use Clydesdale20 to get 20% off your 6-month subscription. With that, if you like what you hear, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and the notifier so you're the first person to know when we put out new content on this channel. Because we just hit 1,000 subscribers. We got our watch hours. We are monetizing. So soon we'll become Super Chat. You'll be able to get stickers from us. You'll be able to donate money to the cause. And we're super stoked for that because we have blowed it up this year. And we're going to continue to do that. So can't wait to see you next week on the Clydesdale Fitness and Friends.
Bye.
Yeah.